Alright, what's going on? Got a pretty standard Evilswarm deck here. It's pretty close to what other people on YouTube run. There's only a few differences that I run.
Text.
Yeah, a few texts in there. Let's get started here. Of course, gotta run 2 rabbits. Pretty straightforward. Use that to get out the 3 vanillas. Get out 3 heliotropes. Overlay first turn Ophion. It's clutch, shuts on everything. Then, can't pull that off. Got 3 casters. Draw one of those first turn along with another Evilswarm. Use its effect. Normal another one. Overlay.
Ophion.
Yep, get that Ophion. Or if you go second turn, they pull out something like a Big Eye or Dracosac or Shien. Anything you want, just Bahamut, discard, detach, take it, instant rage. Also a good second turn card, Mandragora. Run that at 3. It's an easy special summon if your opponent summons anything first turn. So you get a normal
It's like Cyber Dragon.
yeah, it's like a Cyber Dragon caster. To a third one, you can get an Ouroboros out, which has 3 broken effects. So you can pulse and discard something from their hand, and then you can banish something from the graveyard. I run 2 Thunderbirds. I don't really get into its effect much, mostly because I usually don't have him just sitting out in the field. I usually use him with caster as an XYZ material, so I really don't get into his effect. Although it is pretty OP. If your opponent activates a card effect, you can banish it, and then next standby phase, put out 1950 beater. 1 Karakion. I've really actually just started getting into this card and like actually using it for self, like using it more in most of my plays. I only have 1 right now. I'm looking to pick up a second one, just to add a different dimension to the deck. And this is where it gets a little bit different. I run 2 Veilers. Usually, yeah, sometimes I'll run 1, sometimes 2. I like to have 2, just because there's a lot of card effects.
Yeah, it's a good card to set up.
It's good. Yeah, it's good to have, especially in the meta. Like basically any card that your opponent uses is gonna have an effect. You can shut down.
It's good against Mermails.
Yeah, you can shut down Mermail combos.
Yeah.
Just they put something down, shut it down.
Yeah, they put Diva down. You just Veiler it. They've
Veiler.
got like a 400 attack monster on the field. You just destroy the shit easy.
Yeah. I run 2 Max T's.
Secret rare one.
That secret rare. Also great because
Drag.
a lot of the metas uses special summons.
Yeah.
Against a Madolche deck, I actually use that when they swarm the entire field, and
6 damage.
like that. I just had 5 cards drawn to my hand.
Madolches swarm so hard.
This is my main tech piece that I use, is Dark Arm Dragon. I like to keep it in my main deck actually, just because if you can draw it, if you can time draw it well, you can top deck it, and you have exactly 3 dark monsters in your graveyard. You can just special summon it, and banish, and then destroy 3 cards on their field.
It's OP.
So you can basically just clear their entire like monster and spell,
Yeah.
and just like destroy it, and then have an open field for a 2800 attack. Alright, getting spells and traps here. Run 3 Pandemics. It's main search card for Ophion that you can pull out, and it's basically a lance that doesn't have any negative effect, which is why I run 3 of them. Sometimes it gets a little cloggy, but I'd rather have more than not enough. I'd rather have more protection. Run 1 Duress right now. I think I have the other 1 or maybe 2 sided. Just because, yeah, it just protects your Ophion. And also, I've started getting into using it for offense more now. Like, if I need to get over a high level or high attack monster, I can just put that out, it loses 600, and then just run over it. And another little interesting tech piece I have: 2 Defissures. Most people don't run it, but given like the locals I play at, a lot of Dark World, a lot of decks that play out of the graveyard with effects that when you send a monster to the graveyard, it's effect triggers. So if I can get that out, it'll just shut them down, and it's actually come in handy pretty well, especially since Evilswarms don't really use anything out of their graveyard, so it doesn't really affect me negatively. one Book of Moon, pretty straightforward. One MST, one Rhoda, one Heavy, Dark Hole, Monster Reborn. Right now, using one Bottomless. Probably bump them up to 2, just because I need more back row support for when my opponent special summons and starts bringing out their combos and just destroy the Bottomless. Let's see what else we got here. Got one D-Prison. Actually, I really like this card, and I'll probably, once I get another one, I think I only have one right now. If I can find another one, I'll throw that in there too. Mirror Force, straightforward. 2 Breakthroughs. Actually, just pulled another Ultra, so I'll upgrade this one. This card's ridiculous, though. It's basically a double Veiler. You can use this one effect on face up on the field, and then once it goes to the graveyard, you can banish it to do it again. So, running 2 of those, very effective. 2 Compulses. Probably my favorite card in the deck. I don't know why. I just love it. I want a secret rare. And then another 2 tech pieces that I run. XYZ Veil and XYZ Reborn. XYZ Veil is basically the main focus of my deck is getting XYZ monsters out and then protecting them. And when I get Veil out, my Ophion, Bahamut, Ouroboros, anything can't be targeted by monster effects, which is basically the only way anything less than a level 5 can take out Ophion, is with the card effect. So if I can get that out, it's going to GG from there. And then XYZ Reborn is also good, so if they beat over Ophion, then next turn I can just reborn him with this as material. I love it. One of my favorite cards to use now. Extra deck, pretty straightforward. Got 3 Ophions. Whoop. 3 Ophions, boss monster. The main focus of the deck is getting him out, which is really easy to do first turn. Whoop. Is it 4? Oh no. One of them is Ouroboros. I don't know what he was doing there. 1 Ouroboros, like I said before, has 3 effects. One is a Compulse, one is you can take a card from the opponent's hand, put it in the graveyard, and then the third effect is you can banish one from the graveyard. Really like him if I can get the Manticore combo out. Then we got 2 Bahamuts. This is like my secondary card to Ophion. If I already have Ophion out and I have a large hand, I'll try to get him out so I can just discard and take opponent's monsters and let him rage. 2 Thanatos, Thanatos, whatever. Really don't get into him too much. The only decks I really use him against are like Chainburn or Stall or anything that sets a lot of cards that have face down effects. He's basically just like a safety net, so he can't get destroyed by card effects. Really don't use 2 of them ever. I just have them in there just because. 1 Gemini Pearl, in case Ophion can't beat over something. 1 Shockmaster, which is, I don't use him that much because I have Ouroboros, but his effect is really good. Like, if I need to, I'll get into it. Excalibur, if I somehow can Xyz 2 casters, he's a good OTK. 1 Maze Stroke, pretty straightforward. This card is great for getting over boss monsters. Just send to defense and then beat over it. This actually is the main card that can take out Ophion right now. The best way to get over him. 1 Roach, another card I don't really get into at all. It's basically like a weaker version of Ophion, and since I run 3, I don't really need him. And then 1 Cowboy. Pretty straightforward. You can use it as attack to get over boss monsters or defense to just chip away for the win.
Win for game.
Yeah. Get into my side deck. Got 1 Torrential.
Chain that with Infestation.
Chain that with Infestation Pandemic is outrageous.
Like a Regeki.
It's a Regeki that you don't have to get rid of anything for. Oops. Another MST, just in case the opponent runs heavy back row and stuff that I just want to get rid of.
Royal Decree.
Sometimes, yeah, Royal Decree, Mermails, anything like that. There's the other dress. Sometimes I'll side it in on occasion. Usually I only need one. New card that I haven't used yet, Allure of Darkness. I've read online that goes good with Evilswarms. Haven't really sided it in yet, which I might practice here a little bit, see how that goes, and then might try it out locals this week. Deck Lockdown. Good way to... If I can already get Ophion out first turn and then use him, so I can search and then my opponent can't. I've only used this a few times, but I love its effect. One Lance. Straightforward. One Macrocosmos. In case I'm not really drawing into my deep fissures enough, I'll side him in to get the job done. These two. Another ridiculously two good tech pieces for Evilswarms that you can combo with Infestation is basically you can just shut down your opponent's hand. Like, you get to see everything. You can take out all their small monsters or all their spell and traps. Either way.
It's not that good against Dragon Rulers, but it's really good against Mermails and like decks that like...
Prophecy.
Yeah, decks that use like small monsters to set up their plays.
Yeah, anything that needs like a tribute especially.
Yeah.
That shits on Prophecy.
Yeah.
Call spells against Prophecy.
It can be a game maker.
Yeah. Solemn Judgment. I'm not a fan of paying life points, so I don't use it. Dark Bribe. Another random lance. Infestation and Infection. Most people have that main deck, but I side it mostly because this deck is incredibly consistent, so I really don't need to shuffle anything back in.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to not get a first turn Ophion.
It's, yeah, if I can get a first turn Ophion, I can get a second turn Bahamut or something. So usually my hands do pretty well, and this turns out to be a dead draw. So I took it out, and actually I really liked it. Another tech piece, Retort, which is absolutely ridiculously good against a mirror match. It's basically when your opponent activates a spell or trap, you can, with the same name as one in your graveyard, you can negate the activation of it and destroy the card, and then take it from my graveyard, take my card from my graveyard, and add to my hand. So if they use Infestation, I can say nope, negate it, and then take one out of my graveyard for my first turn Ophion. Imperial Iron Walls, kind of the opposite. Yeah, that's only for Dragon Rulers, which I don't really see too many of. But
yeah, there's like one.
There's like one our locals, but I haven't played against them. So
like a little kid.
Yeah, in case we want to stop banishing, then we'll use this instead of Defissures.
I think that kid top it always. The Nats.
The World Qualifiers or whatever.
Yeah,
I think.
Top 160.
And then 2 Thunder Kings. Another way to just shut down. Most of my side deck is just straight up shut down.
Another Mermaid Bender.
Going against whatever the opponent runs. So that's just a good piece to have. And the last card, of course, you gotta run that Whooper, the Tail Slap. OP. Always end up siding him in. So
Counters all the top
good against Dragon Rulers.
Good against Fire Fist. It's super effective.
Can't side this against Mermails.
No, Mermail's not very effective. So.
I mean, he happens to change control often. Just it's like fucking Change of Heart, but you don't do shit for it.
And
Just-
we're